Looking for summer suggestions on high country epic rides in Washington State? Here's our list of favorites. Hi, I'm Paul Andrews, and this is another episode of PNWmtb coming to you from Seattle. Now, when summer comes and the snow melts, we mountain bikers get to do real mountain biking in real mountains. There's nothing like an all-day epic single-track ride at elevation to make you appreciate why we love this sport so much. Over the years, we've ridden just about all these monsters, and here's our top 10 for all you peak baggers and bucket listers. Number 10, Tiffany Mountain. Despite being arguably the highest point in Washington rideable by mountain bike, Tiffany Mountain north of Winthrop is often overlooked as an epic. It's pretty remote and may not be the most challenging on this list, but it is one of the few places you get a full 360 view of the Cascade Mountain Range. Number 9, West Fork Teanaway. Now, there are better known and more ridden trails in central Washington's Teanaway River Basin, but this is my favorite, partly because it's so little ridden. I hardly ever see anybody up there. It's a little awkward to get to, particularly if you want to do a loop, but you can do an out and back or make that up and down, and your payoffs are jolly mountains, top of the world views, and a long, meandering descent offering unique river pools for cool dips on hot days. They're really something. Number 8, Kachess Ridge. Now, this is one of the original epic mountain biking routes in Washington State, and it's held up pretty well over the years. It offers varied terrain from alpine meadows to multiple creek crossings and rooty, rocky downhill gnar with striking scenery in the fall. Its primary drawback is an achingly long road climb to the upper trailhead compared to a relatively short descent for what you put into for the road climb to get there. But Kachess is an iconic MTB ride that belongs on everyone's list, even for out-of-staters who are guaranteed to mispronounce its name. Number 7, Juniper Ridge. This remote and demanding ride near Mount St. Helens requires a shuttle, but it does offer a unique backcountry experience, nothing like it. It's a long ridge climbs, sweeping 360 views of multiple North Cascades peaks. There's wild strawberries up there and lots of time to take a lunch break and take in the incredible views. And there's this screaming woodsy downhill at the end. Number 6, Devil's Gulch, Mission Ridge. This is not far from the fake Bavarian, actually my ride buddy calls it Fovarian, town of Leavenworth, Washington. And it's a classic PNW ride. It has several potential configurations. My favorite is to climb Devil's Gulch going up and then do a figure 8 with Mission Ridge from the top back down. This is a popular route, so expect to see other riders and even motos. It's got a bunch of creek crossings, but the descent on Mission is one of the best you'll find around these parts. It's fast, it's flowy, it's just all around wonderful. Number 5, Ape Canyon, Plains of Abraham. Now, if you're looking for a ride in Washington that puts you in a whole different space, this is it. From the desolation of Mount St. Helens eruption 40 years ago, sprang this originally just moonscaped terrain. And the Plains of Abraham Trail, composed of volcanic ash, is just a rollicking fishtail romp like you can't experience anywhere else. It's fun just to go back and forth because there's nothing like it. You can do sections of this ride or a loop involving Smith Creek, but whatever route you choose, it'll be a memorable experience. This is Washington's only IMBA epic, so there is that added cachet for bucket listers. Number 4, Pyramid Peak. This is another NTApp marvel. Pyramid ranks with Tiffany as the highest points accessible by mountain bike in the state. The Pyramid Peak Trail doesn't look that long, but it's a killer. It's relentlessly steep, and it's got these rocky, pointed rock exposed sections and a push to the top that'll wilt you in the summer and freeze you in the fall. The 360 view is Olympian, but it's also pretty stark. You really do feel on top of the world, and it's kind of lonely at the top. Number 3, Cutthroat Pass. No trip to the emerging mountain bike destination of Winthrop in the North Cascades is complete without a ride up Cutthroat Pass. The views are gobsmacking, especially at the top. The climb is moderately steep and winding. It gives you lots of practice on your switchback smooths, that's for sure. And in the fall, the golden larch, visible in this region and only a few other places in the world, give a colorful patina to the forest. The pass itself is a veritable playground for riding and running around, so leave yourself plenty of time just to play at the top. Number 2, Palisades. Now, this may be number 2 on my list, but it's actually my favorite of the long Washington State epics. It's a 1.5 to 2 hour drive from Seattle, and it puts you right smack in the face of majestic Mount Rainier. The lunch stop is one of the most popular photo ops in PNWmtb lore, and you feel like you could just reach out and grab a snowball off the slopes of Rainier. But there's just as much astoundment to come after that. There's multiple lookout points, outcroppings, and an endless, fast and rooty descent through forest groves back to your vehicle. This is just a wonderful ride, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Now, before we go to number 1, let's list a few honorable mentions. There's Thompson Ridge, which is yet another Winthrop jewel. It's fairly new to the epic ride list in Washington, and we actually have a whole video about it. Don't forget Miller Peak and the Teanaway. This used to be a mainstay. With all the other availability now for mountain biking, it's not quite the prominence it used to have, but it's got classic multi-peak views and lots of different terrain. Miller Peak should be on everybody's list. There's Grouse Pass, Pugh Ridge in the Entiat region. I've done a kind of classic look-back video on this ride, which for my money is one of the most remote and wilderness-feeling mountain bike rides in the state. You'll also get to know the state's famous Whistling Pig, and you have a long, meandering, single-track descents with panoramic peak views. Mad Lake and Klone Peak, this is another ride that used to be a lot more popular and just required for summer mountain biking than it is today. It got burned out and really decimated by fire. It's apparently recovered enough, though, this year to reopen, so don't forget to add it. And finally, there's Lightning Creek and Starvation Mountain. This is another Winthrop standby that fire wiped out, but I'm thinking it's bounced back, and it's a great rugged adventure. The descent on Blue Buck Trail is possibly the longest in the state. Now, number 1 isn't going to surprise anybody. It's Angel's Staircase and Foggy Dew. It's one of the Winthrop area classics and will always be. I've done a whole video on Foggy Dew, which is my favorite descent in the state. It's got these great upper rock gardens and long chunks of flowy velvet single track punctuated by technical scree sections. Angel's Staircase, the same deal. It's along with Tiffany and Pyramid are the highest mountain bike access you can get in Washington. It can be combined with Foggy. That's a little awkward and a long day. Typically, they're done separately. But however you ride this trail network up in the Winthrop area, it's a killer, it's a thriller, and it's a bucket list filler. So I hope you enjoyed the list. Let me know what I missed, where I got it right, where I got it wrong. And in the meantime, I'll hopefully see you on one of these wild rides out on the trail.